Hello and welcome back to the tower. So this is the second event. Whoops. That just popped up like that. And we are working on the second event. Now, you can see I do have a lot of lab time. I'm assuming that this counts my lab speed up because I don't understand. I have no idea how this works. We're getting apparently 15 seconds every few seconds. I have no idea how this is calculated. I will say that now that we have purchased all the card slots, it's very easy to just use gems to speed up labs, so this should go a lot smoother. Last time we didn't complete this one. I think we got 2 out of 3, but this time it should be much easier. That said, we have completed some of the other ones. We have participated in 3 tournaments. That was pretty easy. Death Defy, that just happened. Energy Shield, that's another one that just happened. And this one I did intentionally. I probably should have saved that for a video, but we've already seen that. I just go to tier 9 and just unequip all my cards, and what happens, happens. Unfortunately, this one, no, it wasn't that one. It was just I felt like it wouldn't be that entertaining. It actually was pretty quick. I don't even know how to kill 3 bosses outside of tower range. I assume it's just with bounce shot hitting them. They did change how bounce shot works. It's supposed to not bounce things towards you anymore because they decided that like having an upgrade that also hurts you meant that not everybody took the upgrade, that was a bad thing. And I have to say I agree with them. Like upgrades should always be upgrades, and upgrades should always be, good things. Oh, apparently we got the Eye of Sauron. That is our new potential for the tower. I wish I could see a better preview of that and the volcano background. I think the volcano comes with a different music, I heard. I don't know for sure. I won't be buying these. I'm not interested in the cosmetics. That really does look like the Eye of Sauron. Yeah, Eye of the Lord. Okay. Well, it's remixed, right? And remixing is okay. That said, I'm not going to get the Flamebot as much as I wanted to. I really need to convert my currency over, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to convert this until this is, going to get me an ultimate weapon in case something changes. Because right now, I have 330, I could convert this 8 times, that would give me 120 stones. That doesn't do anything for me. 120 stones doesn't, and plus there's no way to go backwards. 120 stones is not going to get me another draw. I need 800, so kind of in a holding pattern there. I mean, that's sort of where I'm at too with the research. Again, I've done a great job. My lab speed is up to 53. Now, I told you I'm going to take this until it's maxed. I believe the max is 99 instead of 100 for this. I intend on maxing this out because we're never going to stop researching. The only time you're going to stop researching is when you stop playing the game. Otherwise, this is constantly going to be going on. Now, you will notice something. I have a lot more coins, and that's because I've been really focusing on getting my economy up. I felt like my coin economy was kind of lacking, especially with some of the more expensive things I want to get, or boss hit, 5 billion. The reason I haven't done this, even though I have the coin for it, is basically I was kind of sick, and one of my research is completed, and I had a choice of either doing something quick, like boss hit, or something long, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to mess with it, so I chose to do something long, and that's why we're researching defense percent, because I was just like, I really don't want to deal with this. And, because I was sick, I was not feeling well, and I was like, let's research something for 9 days, then we don't have to worry about it. Now, these 2 researches are starting to take longer, which to me is great. To me, it's beautiful. Because these 2 slots sync up. So I really only have 4 researches to manage. And if I keep researching something really long, which isn't going to happen, because I do need to get... I think Orb Boss Hit only has 10 levels, so I plan on finishing that up. And attack speed, well, that's a permanent... These 2 are permanent until I max them out, so... No, I mean, the only thing that changes is these two just keep getting longer and longer. Like, there's not anything that's gonna change there. I wish I had a good lab we were using as like a baseline, because they are getting quite a bit shorter. Like, I remember I had one down here. Let's see if I can remember it. Like this guy, extra black hole. He was like 9 or 10 days before. He's getting down to 8 days, which is pretty significant. This is really the one I think I need to do next. It's 40 billion, but if I save up the 40 billion and do it, it's done. I believe there's only one, and it gets me that boost for the extra hit with the energy shield, and then it's out of the way. So I'm honestly thinking about saving up just to get that done. And of course, I really need to work on my perks too. I mean, there's just so many researchers that I need. It's unreal. And the same thing with cash. I'll say this, these are going down a lot too. I mean, these used to be, I think, 15 hours before, and now they're 12 and 10 and a half. And interest is another one I need to work on, but like I said, there's so many options, it gets to be a bit much. It's just like anything, I need to max. Let's go through things I need to max, but I'll go through them in the order. I need to max lab speed. That's number one. I need to max attack speed. That's probably number two. Though I won't say that for sure, because once I max lab speed, it kind of becomes more of a wild card system. And what I mean by a wild card system is, rather than focusing on maxing one specific thing, I think it's much better that I just focus on spreading it out among everything. And of course, like, there's researches like supercritical. Like, I need to do this research, and if I do it, I probably will just speed it up with gems, because I could pair these two up. That would be really nice. But again, getting supercritical chances and supercritical multipliers right now, probably not what I need. I'm sure they're important. I don't know what the latest on the research sheet is. I'm sure they're up there. Same thing with crit and damage. But I know they're not as important as attack speed. Because attack speed, you need to attack as fast as possible. And that also speeds up your bullets. Very important. And again, I don't know that that would outweigh health and defense, these two researches. Again, it'll become easier as we get more stuff maxed out. But again, you also have the economy, which is, as much as I need to get these to 100, I also need to get the cash per wave bonus. Both of those to 100. Everything basically needs to be maxed out. So, I mean, there's a lot of choices I have to make. Now, I can actually afford to do the package after boss. That's I might actually, maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should just do that. Like, it's long enough, though, where I could do it after my defense, and it's inexpensive enough where I could just get it done, because I believe that's only one level. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, and I haven't even really done my ultimate weapon researches. Like, clearly, I would like to get the extra black hole, and then we need to get the black hole doing damage, and there's just, I have so many things I need to work on. But I'm pretty confident, like, let's just save up the coins for the extra energy shield hit, because we can get that done and out of the way, and that's the most expensive research on here. The second most expensive is, I believe, the orb boss hit, which again we also need to do. At least this one should only have a couple more levels. I think this only goes to 10, so we're most of the way there. It's just, this is very expensive. But again, if I can get this out of the way, then I can get this guy done. And this is actually one of the S tier plus researches. It's just so expensive. This one should be S tier, but I don't remember that it is, and I think the reason was because it was so expensive. I don't really find it that expensive considering the duration, right? 190 million is expensive, but not if the research is going to take you 10 days. Because that gives you 10 days to build up the funds, And if you can't afford doing this research, that means you have plenty of time. I mean, you're never going. Health is never going to be so expensive you can't afford to do it. So there's kind of a mix there. But damn, I just want all the researches maxed out. That would make my life a lot easier. Even silly ones like starting cash. Which, yes, some of these I researched just because it was like, it's an hour. Like, why not research it? You know? Honestly, if they had a queue system, I would probably be researching a lot more of these really short researches. Because the reality is, what I would do is I would like speed up lab speed, start like this research, then queue up lab speed 50, 53 behind it, and sure, it delays it by an hour. But I don't really care. I just don't want to babysit it like that. But unfortunately, that's not possible. So the only way for me to like speed this research up would be with gems, and we're not doing that. So that kind of sums up where we are from a research standpoint. And as I said, like I don't want to spend anything here either, because we want to save up and get the energy card research done, and we want to get the boss orb hit done. Once we get both of those done, I think those are the two really expensive researches we have to do. And then once they're out of the way, then it'll be a little more open season for us to actually spend our coins. Let me just verify that there's nothing else that's like ludicrously expensive that we need to do. Yeah, billions. Oh, and we'll package after boss. That's another one. But it's only $1 billion, which. Oh, and I guess the extra black hole, which probably should do this next, anyways. And then of course there's the black hole. I mean, but these bonuses, the damage and the coin bonus, those aren't expensive. There are a lot of they're relatively 20 million coins is just not that expensive. But this guy at 15 billion, that's expensive. So I probably should just get all the expensive ones out of the way. I mean, package after boss. So we'll start with the most expensive one, which is energy shield extra hit. Then we'll work on getting. We might do the package after boss in between the boss orb hit and get those two done. And then once that's all done, we'll try to get the extra black hole done. And that really will kind of clear up a lot of things. Of course, while I'm doing all that, I will still be focusing all my gems on increasing my lab research speed. Because number one, this is cheap. 2.61 million, that is cheap. And the other reason is because every time I upgrade this, it upgrades the speed of all my research. Sadly, this isn't going to be a really entertaining video because I feel like there's nothing for me to show. Oh, you know what we can go over? My tournament ranks. I got rank 1 in the Gold League because the Platinum League happened while I wasn't sick yet, but I wasn't feeling well. This happened before I was sick. So this was the precursor of me getting sick. And during that day I just had so much other stuff on my mind that I didn't get to it. I don't participate in the Champion League because it's like I checked and I realized what's going to happen is, like, for me to do well in the Champion League, it was something I don't remember off the top of my head. But I knew that I wasn't strong enough to succeed in the Champion League at a level that would make it sense for me to stay in the Champion League. So, and what I mean by that is, could I probably get rank 22? Yes. Is getting rank 22 week after week better than going back to the Platinum League? And the answer is no. Getting rank 5 or 6 in the Platinum League, like I did, this is like 100 stones, and I think this is 20 stones, and this is 100 stones, and this is 20 stones. So that's an average of 60 stones a tournament. If I got the Platinum rank, I mean, if I stuck and didn't get promoted, and I stuck here, I do better. I get an average of 80 stones, and that's 160 stones per week. The problem is, it's really hard to make sure you hit this rank, because if I drop to this rank, right, if I just miss this, just barely, I'm down to 120. And what's 120? Getting rank 5 and also getting rank this. So to me, it was easier to just let this run and try to do as best I could in the Platinum League, and then just tank it in the Champion League and get my, I was really hoping I could get, because if I could get to rank 2, 1 or 2, it's worth it to always get those and then drop. It wasn't really working out. But I could get to, like, even rank 3 or 4, it's worth it. And again, from an effort standpoint, of trying to balance it and make sure you hit rank 7 and not missing. The key is not missing, because as soon as I miss 7 or 8, or like I miscalculate, or I do it too early, because the thing is, I join a tournament league and I immediately quit. The reason I do that is I let everybody else climb and I kind of watch where the dust settles. And then I say, okay, if I'm targeting rank 7 because I don't want to get promoted. I look at the rank 6 guy and I say I can go up to meet his wave, and since I placed second, I will slot into rank 7. So the maximum I can go is what at the time the 6th place guy has. Now, when it's happened to me in the past, is somebody decides to just push and try to take, any of these ranks. They basically try to take rank 1 through 6. And if they do, well, rank 6 becomes rank 7. I become rank 8. And now, if somebody starts after me, now they can slot up to the new rank 6 and knock me down to 6 or 9 and 10. As soon as I slip from 7 and 8 to 9 and 10, well, at that point, I might have just went all out and got 100 stones and lost, and not even had to bother next week, and just walked into Champion League and lost. And again, the problem here is it's only worth me competing if I can hold rank 11 or 12. I feel like this system is flawed. I feel like holding rank 13 to 15, I feel like that should be at least 80 stones. I feel like that should be comparable to this, so 150 gems and 80 stones. I feel like this should be comparable. And I feel like this should be a little bit better. Because as it stands, though, if you can win, and I mean you have, because you made it to Champion League, if you can hit this rank, unless you get 100 stones from this, it's better for you to D-rank. And that's sort of the problem. I feel like this should be at least 80 stones. Honestly, I feel like, if we're being really honest, I feel like this should be 80 and this should be 70. To encourage people to participate in the league instead of just D-ranking and going back to the easy league. But that's more of a problem. I feel like me trying to manipulate it so I can say, yep, if I can sit here and not get promoted, that would be so much better. I feel like that's very flawed. I also feel like another way to do this is if you get promoted, it takes you 2 times to demote. But again, that also becomes flawed because then it's nobody wants to get promoted, because being able to get first place in the Platinum League or, well, even in the top 6 doesn't mean you'll have any success in the Champion League. It doesn't, I promise. I sort of feel like this whole system is based on there continually being new players coming into the game. Because this is 8 ranks, 23 to 30. And these 8 ranks, only 6 ranks go up, 8 ranks go down. That means the pool has to be constantly, you have to constantly have new players joining the game. Otherwise, people will de-rank, right? So, let's pretend the game just came out. There's only the Copper League. Everybody plays. It doesn't matter how many of the players there are. Basically, 6 out of 30 advance, right? That's 1/5 get to advance, okay? The top 20% go into Silver League. After one battle in Silver League, of that top 20%, right, 8 out of 30 get D-ranked, all right? That's a percentage I should have had on hand for this, but we're going to calculate it right now. That's a 26.66 repeating, so we'll round that at 26. We'll round it to 27%. So then, of that 20%, after the next contest, and we're just going to pretend there's 2 leagues here, 26%. Let's just say 25%. 25% is easier. A quarter of that goes back down. So 15% stay, right? A quarter goes back, so that's 5%. I probably should draw this in a graph, but I don't have that right now. So if the player base is stagnant anyways, the 20% of the bottom 80% go back up, so that's 16% get promoted. And then it cycles, but does that result in growth? Don't make me get a spreadsheet out. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, instinctively, it seems like if you only promote 20%, and of that 20%, 25% get demoted, that it's a shrinking system. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Because in the Copper League, there would still be 80% of the population, and 20% of that 80% is 16%, with 16% getting promoted. That 16% joined the existing 15%, which now is 31%, while the bottom quarter, which would have been 5%, get flushed back down. So 16, 8, that's 64. So I guess it does actually trend upward. I guess that's my mistake. I never sat down and did the math. But after that, it would be 31% are in Silver League and 69% are in Copper. I mean, it to me, like, when you look at it this way, it seems like it actually does grow. Oh, well, I didn't know that. No, that's good then. There is a way to flow upwards. But, once you hit the top, which Champion League, which is where I've been, there are actually a few things I noticed. There's fewer Champion Leagues, and the Champion Leagues that there are tend to be I wouldn't say very competitive, but probably more competitive than Platinum. And again, I don't know if that's because in Platinum everybody's aiming, really for that 7-8 slot because they don't want to go to Champion League because Champion's so much harder. It's harder. I mean, the weird thing is this is a tougher league to compete in, yet it has, like, worse rewards if you fail to compete. Again, I mean, this is pretty easy to rectify. I would honestly say this should be bumped up to like 110, this should be like 90, and this should be 80. So, you should fight not to D-rank. That makes sense, right? You should not want to D-rank, and of course, I'm fine with D-ranking being 20. That to me makes sense. But it should be that, like, if you can finish in the 22nd place, that should be better than D-ranking and getting this rank. I'm sorry, not this rank. You get this rank, then D rank. You can't even get promoted with that. This rank and D ranking. So you should want to fight. You should be willing to say, so getting rank 6, which gets you promoted, plus 20, is 60 a tournament. So this should be at least 60. Should be more than 60 so that people don't want to D rank. Like, your only reason to D rank then is because you're like, oh, I know I can get number 1 and grab this 175 stones. Then it makes sense if you can't get, like, rank 7 or 8. Yeah, well, actually, I take that back because it changes the whole kind. But you get the idea. If you can get this, and then plus this is, yeah, I guess it's 195, so, we'll round up to 100. So if this rewarded 100 stones, there'd be no reason to ever D-rank. You would always want to fight to keep your rank because you would lose stones by D-ranking. So that's how they could fix the system if they wanted to, but clearly that's not a priority. Not a priority is a bad word, not a bad phrase to say. It's more like they're fine with this system having that effect if people intentionally D-ranking. I don't think it's a good set of rules to have. But that said, that's my status in the tower. Maybe next time we'll do some more gameplay. The real issue I have here is I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe next time we'll try it. Is what I'll do is we'll try to do a no card run on tier 10, even though I don't have an achievement for it. And if getting tier 10 to wave 50 is easy, then we'll go ahead and unlock tier 12. How about that? So that'll be that'll be what we do next time. That said, as always, once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And as always, thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.